Hey everybody, welcome back to Insta Jamm. Today we're going to talk about breath. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to clear up a common misconception. In singing, more is not more. In fact, less is more when it comes to breath. It's not how much you have, it's how you use it. First thing to know is that your larynx, your voice box, actually has another job. Shocking, I know. Its first job is to act as a valve to your respiratory system, which stops you from swallowing food down the wrong way and can also keep air in. However, when you've taken a big breath, it's hard to hold all that air in. I'm going to demonstrate now with this party balloon. So imagine this balloon, the big bit's your lungs, and the very top bit is your larynx. So when we take a little breath, super easy to pinch the top bit, super easy to keep that air in. We've got loads of control over it. We can do lots with it. Now, imagine taking the biggest breath you possibly can and filling up. Suddenly you have to pinch a lot harder at the top to keep all that air from flowing out. So, it's the exact same thing when it comes to our larynx and our lungs. If we take a really big breath, we increase the amount of air pressure in our lungs, and all it wants to do is go back out again. So now not only are you trying to sing, your larynx is also trying to keep all this air in. So what we really need is to learn how to do more with what little we have. So I've got a couple of exercises for you. Okay, so first and foremost, we're looking for consistent air pressure and flow when we're singing. That means we don't want to over push at the beginning of the phrase or tail out too soon towards the end. So one way that we can test this is using an old trick with a shallow glass of water and a straw. This also helps because it means we're not phonating and it can be done silently as a warm-up by creating a little bit of back pressure. So what we're doing with this, we're going to try and get the water to bubble with minimal effort. Notice if you use too much pressure, you get a big splashy mess. If you use too little pressure, inconsistent airflow and cutouts. So what you're looking for when you're thinking airflow, very light bubbling. Okay, so that's how we demonstrate how much airflow we need. Our first exercise today is the sippy breath exercise. This is where we're going to take a certain number of sips in, as if we're doing it through our straw, and then hiss out. And we're aiming for consistent measures of breath, each one nice and even. So we'll start with a 4-to-4 ratio. We're gonna go so notice when we fill, we expand, and when we contract, we empty. So we're gonna do that again. The idea of sippy breath is that you extend the amount you're exhaling and reduce the amount you're inhaling. So you would then go 4 sips in for 6 out, 4 sips in for 8 out, 2 in, 2 out, 2 in, 4 out, 2 in, 6 out, etc., etc., until eventually we're getting down to the ones and we're going etc. You can also do this exercise on a variety of sounds, continuous or interrupted. I really like a nice V sound, like you're revving a motorbike, because it creates a little bit of a backstop to your air. So you could go and count how many beats you can do on that. And just by doing that, you're checking in with yourself. How many beats can you reasonably do before it starts to feel a little bit iffy breath-wise? Use a metronome or just count freely. Either way, the exercise works nice and neatly. Which leads us to, okay, so a flop breath or a catch breath, musical theatre term, is where we allow our body to breathe via means of creating a vacuum. So what we're going to do, imagine we're singing and singing and singing and singing, and we're expelling all our air, and we're breathing out, and we're concave. It's like one of those bags that your nan puts her coats in winter, and then we just let it flop. So you'd be doing an exercise, say a nice arpeggio, and you go 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Notice how it's a silent inhale and you don't overbreathe. When you breathe via a vacuum, you equalize the air pressure either side of your larynx. It is technically impossible to overbreathe when you do a flop breath, which is why I favor it so much. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope this was helpful, and tune in again next week for further updates.